RPGs are awesome. They're able to tell great stories, evoke emotion, and let you kill a bunch of people. There's a lot of talk about RPGs, from the combat system, to the interconnected world maps, to the whatever gimmick this one throws on to make it more unique. However, there's one component nearly every RPG shares, which I think makes it actively worse. Something nearly all RPGs have, and fans get upset if it's removed. Something non-RPGs have even used for themselves. Something that is supposedly required to make the games fun. I'm talking about the XP system. Now, immediately, a lot of RPG fans will get mad at me here, because yeah, XP is a key part in the genre, and for many reasons. For starters, XP helps players feel like they're growing as the game progresses. In Pokemon, your team is supposed to get more skilled and powerful throughout the game, so they level up. This means that late into the game, if you go back to an earlier section, it'll be far easier, making you feel like you've grown. XP can also be used to incentivize people to battle, giving them a reward. I mean, why would you spend this much time in battle if there's no benefits? That's an issue that Paper Mario the Origami King had, since it only gave you coins for fighting, scrapping the XP system entirely. However, this made the battles feel pointless, and many players instead just tried skipping them. Now that sounds like a gotcha, like, oh come on wacko, XP is obviously necessary. Origami King didn't have it, and Origami King's battle sucked. Therefore, XP is necessary. While that does sound convincing, let's take a look back at those reasons. Most of these reasons can actually be done in other ways, and usually, it's better because of it. If you don't believe me, just ask yourself this. What is the worst thing to do in an RPG? I don't know about you, but what comes to my mind is
grinding.
Grinding sucks for two reasons: undergrinding and overgrinding. If you undergrind, aka underfight, aka don't level up enough, then you'll be forced to either struggle with progression or have to waste time fighting weaker enemies to level up. If you've overgrinded, then the game becomes a piece of cake, and the battles no longer require strategy or thought and just more doing. These are only a problem if the game has XP. If a game doesn't have XP, then the developers know exactly how powerful the player is at any moment, meaning they cannot be over or underpowered. Besides, games are designed to get harder as you progress, but leveling up is designed to make the game easier as you progress. These are conflicting ideals and don't exactly fit together. The way to fix this would to just make enemies even stronger to account for the player's level. But then what happens if they don't level up enough? This just seems like going around your elbow to get to your thumb, when a simpler solution would be to just have the player stay the same, or at least raise at specific times, like getting upgrades after a boss or finding equipment in new towns. Wacko, no. There's a far simpler solution that gets rid of the need for grinding and fixes the luck element. All you gotta do is have the enemies scale their difficulty. Oh yes, Past Wacko, I had never thought of that before! Have the enemies still have a difficulty curve, but have it move as the player gets more levels, so the game keeps its difficulty in balance. Okay, that sounds good, but tell me, if you've created a system that makes players stronger, and now you're making another system that makes it so they don't actually get stronger, then what was the point of any of it? I honestly don't understand it. XP goes against the very concept of balancing a game. Oh, but it incentivizes battling. No, it doesn't! Saying XP incentivizes battles is like saying game overs incentivize replaying. No, it requires replaying. It doesn't incentivize it. I'll put it to you this way. As we've already gone over, grinding sucks. However, if there's a really tough boss that you practically need to grind to beat, does that mean grinding is fun? No, obviously not. Even though it is necessary to beat the boss, that doesn't mean it's fun. Remember how I said people avoided battles in Origami King? Well, I kinda lied. Players don't avoid battles in Origami King. They avoid battles in every RPG ever. Pokemon games specifically design these maze-like halls where you're challenged to find a way around without battling. The game is actively designed to make you want to avoid these fights, because they're boring. It is literally using fights as a punishment for failing the maze. Adding XP does not make them fun, it makes them necessary. It ties the only way to get better into a system that is straight up designed to let you avoid it. It's like the developers know that you don't want to get into these battles, but yet they still require you to. Now, I'm not saying that all XP is used badly, or that all battling systems are boring. There's actually quite a few examples of games I could give with really good XP systems. Stardew Valley has an XP system tied into your different activities, but the game is so open, they are never expected to be at a certain level at a certain time, and because of that, you can never be over or under leveled. Minecraft also has an XP system, but it's used more as a currency, so it's not really the same. Undertale basically scraps XP entirely in the passers route, and incentivizes the battles by making them both not random encounters, and also really fun. And when XP is added into the game, it's done in such a controlled manner, it doesn't have nearly the same issues other games have. But not all RPGs can be as open as Stardew, or want to use it as a currency like in Minecraft, or are just gonna become Undertale ripoffs. Too bad this is just the way it is, and there's actually no other better alternatives. Ha! Just kidding, there are so many better alternatives. For starters, Metroidvanias have been doing progression for years, and you're able to get both new items and simple stat increases. Zelda 1 had heart containers given to you after each dungeon, so you're continuously getting stronger. Undertale has hidden items dotted around to increase your attack and defense, which helps to incentivize exploration instead of grinding. I mean, in Super Metroid, there's a tunnel with enemies that are irritating to kill since it just takes way too long, but after you get through, you get an upgrade that allows you to kill them super quickly. The game uses this slow combat as an irritation to annoy you. But wouldn't it be funny if we decided to take that slow combat and make it into an entire game where the only way to get better attacks is to repeatedly kill the same boring enemies over and over? Now, what game would do that? As for a way to incentivize battles, well, why do we need to? Mario Odyssey created a brilliant movement system, and it's so much fun just getting to places. Doing cool moves allows you to save time in some cases, but more importantly, it has you do gymnastics with your hands, making you feel like you've done something really hard. Both of these are reasons people do this kind of stuff. And yeah, Nintendo did hide some coins in some places as a reward, but these aren't the reason people do these tricks. We do them because they're fun. RPGs are in a pretty big hole, since their entire battling system is super slow and doesn't have you move your hands in any interesting ways. The solution to this problem is really complicated. It would require reworking the genre's most basic mechanics. As I said earlier, Undertale fixes it with a battling system that lets your hands do fun movements, but it could also be fixed by simply doing less battles. Boss fights are almost always fun in RPGs, even if the regular battles aren't. Since they're more unique and happen less frequently, it's more understandable to spend time on them. Super Paper Mario doesn't really have turn-based fights, but does throw in one towards the end, mostly as a joke and is a fun highlight of the game. This, just like the boss fights, are far more understandable and enjoyable because they don't happen every 5 seconds. So there are ways to fix this, but the way it is now, it's just broken. People tried to avoid them for a reason. It's cause they're not fun. So don't incentivize them to fight, just make fighting fun and the players will follow. I could sit here for another hour talking about ways to improve RPGs, but I think I made my point. So while XP may be a fine concept, it doesn't work in practice since it goes against many aspects of game design. So stop using it as a crutch and go make something good. Like Undertale, that game is brilliant. I don't know if people are gonna agree with me here, because I've had this conversation with a lot of people, including a lot of friends, and most people just think I'm crazy, but I hope, my computer just made noise, ignore that, I hope that I've been able to explain to you why I think this way, and potentially change your mind to at least think that maybe there should be a change. I don't know.